Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gluttons for Geekdom Live. I am Nick James, and today we are going to be talking about some Spawn. It was a special request sent in by my main man, my dude, Anthony Weiland. Thank you very much for writing in. If you want anything done specifically, let me know. I'm open to suggestions, jumped right on it. Anthony Weiland, this is for you. Thank you. Been a big supporter of Gluttons for Geekdom since the beginning. Speaking of support too, before I actually get into anything, did not win the Logan contest, but I got some great numbers. I mean, I came in a strong second place. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. I mean, thank you. All right, I don't want to go too deep into it because we're here to talk about Spawn. To get into that, we really have to talk about one main man, Todd McFarlane. He is the creator of it. And not only that, well, let's go into Image. Sorry, I'm getting a little jumpy, a little bit nervous. You know, it's been a little bit since I've been here, but the awesome part about being live is you go through it. So really, to know Spawn, you have to know Image. And to know that, you have to understand that when these guys were drawing for Marvel and DC like that, after sometimes, you know, in Jim Lee's case, not even getting accepted right away, he had to actually go a few times to apply before they let him in. They didn't get to keep their characters. They couldn't create a character under somebody's name, like working for Marvel. Marvel would automatically own it. Same for DC, and there was no creator owned, not popular ones, not where they can keep everything themselves. And all of a sudden, Jim Lee, Wallace Portacio, sorry, his name's a little bit difficult for me. Mark Silvestri, Eric Larson, Rob Liefeld, Valentino, Jim Lee, I think I said, and Todd McFarlane had enough of it, you know, and they created Image Comics. And they were all creator owned, and they went out and they kicked ass, and they kept their money because, you know, that's what they deserve. If you create and write and draw a comic, you have to keep the whole piece, and all the creative control is yours. So they went out, they created Image, and Image put out Spawn #1, May 1992. And that really created a brand new thing because nobody had seen stuff like that. The first thing you have to know about Todd too is that he's just brilliant. He's an amazing artist, and the detail and the gore that he put into it, but it's scary and not, it's just really beautifully drawn, written, and you feel bad for this guy. Albert Al Simmons, if you will, gets turned into a hellspawn. If you watch the movie, I mean, that's comics I've read. I've read some, but I don't go too deep on him. Like I said, this is for Mr. Anthony Weiland. I'm going to get more into it. I'm going to actually, after read a lot of this stuff, I want to learn more. But in the movie, you know, he gets screwed over to lead an army for John Leguizamo. And because we love clashes here, if you don't know, he's also in Kick-Ass. We just talked about that not too long ago. And Martin Sheen is in it, and if you didn't know, he's freaking Uncle Ben. So again, crossovers are going great. That's the 1997 film that came out and directed by Mark A.Z. Dippe. D-I-P-P-E? Dippe? I don't know. And I think that guy, White, his last name was White, Michael J. White, I'm sorry guys, excuse me, was really awesome at it. I mean, it's a hard role because if you don't know, he does get burned. So, like, I'm sure, you know, he almost looks like a prototype for Ryan Reynolds later on, if you will. He's all scarred and he's just kind of gross. And when he gets it, it's almost, again, excuse the crossover, almost like a symbiote suit, but badass because it can create spikes. And again, he's got like this awesome flowing cape that can also be a weapon. So a lot of this guy had was makeup and CGI to work with, and still made me give a shit about Spawn, you know? That's kind of hard. And then later on, his portrayal and everything that they did with that movie went on to create an HBO miniseries that again got acclaimed great because it is just gorgeous looking. And Spawn creates so many different characters that can also be turned into cartoons well and be done well in that medium. But the other great thing, you know, not as if I'm sitting here like, Todd, if you see this, I'm not exactly trying to sit here and get a shout out, but I am going to shout him out again because he's another great guy who said, all right, I want to make toys out of these characters, and goes to Mattel. I mean, it's hard to call it Mattel. And goes to them and he says, can we make these toys? And they're like, let's see. And they're going back and forth and they're fighting. And they're like, we can't do what you want. It's impossible. And he's like, all right, fine. Starts freaking Todd's Toys, which they were kind of afraid. Mattel was afraid of that because of Barbie's younger brother, Todd. Those were Todd Toys. So that's when it became just McFarlane Toys and fell under McFarlane Inc., which is now just, I mean, it's a global. And like, if you remember, like I was just talking about Image Comics, he's the president of that. He's got a lot of stuff still on his plate, and yet does casts exactly like this. he'll just put up, he's got a selfie stick as well, and then he'll switch it over. Go check him out on Facebook because it's really, really interesting to watch. He'll draw stuff all the time for you. He's just there giving knowledge, like dropping knowledge for you, exactly like this, 10, 15 minutes at a time, and by the end of it, you're just like, damn. And he's one of those artists too. I don't know if you've ever actually watched somebody draw, but when you're doing it, you're like, this guy kind of sucks. Like, what's it? Boom, it's done. And you're like, holy shit, where did that freaking picture come from? You don't really see where he's going, and then all of a sudden, just in a few little sweeps, you're like, it's the best thing I've ever seen, he really is a genius. Anyway, he created that own toy company in 93. And again, in terms of figures, just broke another layer of, I didn't know somebody could take this so freaking seriously. Because if you look at them again, they're really great toys. And I gotta get some up in here. Again, thank you to everybody for all the votes. I appreciate it. Thank you for Anthony Weiland talking about Spawn. Like I said, I'm a little bit, not too much as time-wise goes. I don't really have a lot behind it. I'm going to do more research. But if anybody else has something that they want written in, to write in and talk about, let's talk about it. Don't forget, all the Gluttons went live on Sunday, and that was a lot of fun. There's a whole hour and like 20 minutes up of all three of us having some fun. That got transponded onto Podbean, which then puts it on iTunes, and that will be coming to YouTube soon. But, I mean, if you want to go back and look at that, all of our stuff is on YouTube. If you want to find us, you find us on YouTube. Everything's brought together there. If you can't find us on YouTube for whatever reason, or you're like, YouTube, I'm not using it, Podbean and iTunes would be right behind that to find us. We're on here, obviously. If you're watching this, you're on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Who do we got on? Oh, Pete. What's up, Pete? Thank you, sir, for watching. Gluttonous Geeks. Sorry, at Gluttonous Geeks on Twitter, and we also got Gluttons for Geekdom on the, what's it called, Instagram. Sorry, all right, tomorrow's show's going to be a little bit better. I'm going to pick something up. It's going to be awesome. Come back tomorrow. I think we're going to have to move it to 5 o'clock now. I'm going to mess around with it a few times. If you've been keeping up, I've now got a schedule change that we're going to figure it out together, but join us for the rest of this week for 5 at least. Hey, Anthony joined me at the very end. Sorry, buddy, I'm already going. Go back, watch it. It's all about Spawn. It's just for you, sir. Appreciate this whole time. It's kind of short. I didn't know a lot, but I did it for you because I love you, bud. I love all of the viewers. Thank you so much. Gluttons for Geekdom Live.